Hey peeps, it's Julian here from Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. We're on question 5 from the 2018 Maths Lit Paper 1. It's the grade 11 paper, and this question deals with data handling, in particular reading data from a table and figuring out the statistical types of things like range, median, modal, mean, and there's also some probability. So to study the information on eggs in incubators and chickens hatched during the different months in the USA for the 2016 to 2017 period. As we have the different months, so this is the eggs that were in the incubator at the first of the month, and then the number of chickens that hatched in the entire month. So as you can see, it started off in September with this many eggs, and that's how many chickens actually hatched from the eggs. So for 5.1, determine the number of eggs that did not hatch in December. December of this period. So we can see that over here we have December. So we have the total that eggs at the beginning, and the number that hatched was 25,422. So if we subtract this number from this number, we'll get the difference, and the difference will be the number that did not hatch. So for 5.1, the number that didn't hatch will equal, so as I said, reading from this graph, December, the total was 28,795. So 28,795 minus, so the number that did hatch, so this is going to be 25,422. So 25,422. And put those two numbers into your calculator, subtract them, so just as it is, and we get that this number comes to 3,373. And that is the final answer. Okay, and then for the next one, it says calculate the mean number of eggs in the incubators for this 2016 to 2017 period. So what we need to do is find out the total number of eggs in the incubator. So we need to sum up this number and then divide it by the number of data points. So first of all, we need to find the sum. So for 5.2, the sum is going to equal, so our first number is 28,927. So 28,927 plus, it's 28,409 going down the list, plus 27,178 plus the next one is 28,795, and we're going to continue down at the bottom here. So the next one is 29,961. So we just got to keep adding it. So we at this point over here. So the next one is 29,906. So plus 29,906 plus 30,030 plus 28,597. One more line plus, so we are at this part here, 28,597 Next one for May is 28,825. So 28,825 plus 29,441 plus 29,271, and finally 29,725. So we need to add all of those together. So as we're going along, you should have been putting these into your calculators. So we put each of these terms, we sum it up. Obviously can't do all of this summing in your head, so use your calculators. Be very careful about the numbers you're putting in, maybe even do it twice to make sure. And just to make sure that we've covered everything, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 data points, and we know that it is in a year, but just to make sure, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 data points. Okay, so put this in your calculators. We get that it's 349,066. So that's our sum. So now, therefore, our mean is our total divided by the number of points. So it's our sum then divided by the number of data points. So in this case, it's 349,066 that we just calculated, divided by, remember we counted out the 12 months in the year, and put this into your calculator, and we get that the final answer, the average is 29,088,93. And that's our mean. Okay, and then on to 5.3, it says write down the modal value for the number of eggs in the incubator for the first month. Okay, so this is 5.3, and the modal value means your most occurring number, so the number that comes up more than once and the most occurrences. If we look at, it says for the first month, I assume they're meaning September, but just in general, like you can see that none of these numbers actually repeat themselves, so there actually is no modal number. So for the number of eggs, looking down here, there are no number that's more than once, so that means there is no modal. So the answer here is that there is no modal value. It's a little bit of a trick question. Going on to 5.4, determine the range of the poultries hatched in the entire month during the 2016 to 2017 period. So this is the column that we need to look at. It's the number that hatched during the entire month, and we need the range. So now range is highest minus your lowest. So range is, remember, equal to your highest minus your lowest. So looking on, we need to identify what the highest is, and I see that there is a 25,332, and if I go down, is there one more? This is a 25,700, that's a bit bigger, and there's another 25,000, but that's not as big as this 25,719. So this is going to equal 25,719 minus your lowest. So the lowest one I'm seeing is, I do see a 22,000 23,782. Going down this list, I don't see another one that's in the 22,000s. So this is our lowest. So it's 22,782. Put this into your calculator. So 25,719 minus 22,782, and that comes to our range is 2,937. So that is our range. And I'm just going to erase some of this working out so we have more space for the rest of the question. Before I do that, I am just going to note down this total that we calculated for the number of eggs. I'm going to write it in over here. So it's 349,066. And the reason is because we're going to need this total in the questions to come. But I'll just erase the rest for now. Okay, so now we have space for 5.5. This question, calculate the median of the poultries hatched for the entire month during the 2016-2017 period. So our median is our middle number. So what we have to do is find out, well, first of all, we need to order this information into descending order, and then we have to find out what the middle position is. So it's going to be the number of positions plus 1 divided by 2. And then we are going to go to that position and then find out what the number is. So first of all, we need to order it. So we know from when we were working out the range that this was the highest number. So in order, we need to write, so I'll just write here the ordered list. So it starts out with the, as I said, 25,719. Now the second highest, if we look at this list, it's still going to probably be 25,000. So there are a few 25,000s, that one there, but we can see that the next highest would be 25,422. So I looked at all of them. This seems to be the second highest. So it's 25,422. Then the next is this 25,332. So 25,332. And we have one more 25,000, which is the 25,070. So 25,070. Next on this list, we are now in the 24,000 range. So there's a 24,700. There's another 24,000, but that is still lower. That's 24,000, still lower, and there's no other ones. So this is the next highest one. So it's 24,786. Then, as it's shown, the next one is this 24,616. So 24,616. Then the next one is this 24,067. 24,067. Now we're into the 23,000 range. So we have a 23,000. But there's another one bigger than it, which is this 23,598. There is also 23,572, but the largest one is the 23,645. So 23,645. And then, as we said, less than that. So we're going still in descending order. Is going to be your So there's the 23,572, but remember we did identify one slightly larger, which is 23,598. 23,598. And then we can put the 23,572. So 23,572. And then almost at the end, we've got, so 23,572. The next one will be your 23,179. So 23,179, which just leaves us with one remaining, which we did say in the previous question, is this lonely 22,778. Sorry, 782. Just to make sure we haven't missed any, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we already know there are 12 data points, so we haven't missed any. Now we need to find the median position, and this is going to be your number of points plus 1 divided by 2. So we know that the number of points is in fact 12 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 13 over 2, which comes to the 6.5 position. So it's the 6.5, so that's in between 6 and 7. So if we go and we mark out, so this is I'll use another color. So if this is our first position, that's our second, this is our third, our fourth, our fifth, our sixth, and our seventh. So it's the position in between 6 and 7. So because there is no 6.5 position, we need to add these two together and divide by 2 to get what the median is. So therefore, your median is equal to, so it's your sixth position, so 24,616, plus your seventh position, 24,067, divided by 2. So you add those two together and divide by 2. So you put this into your calculator. So we have the 24,616 plus your 24,067 added, which comes to 48,683 divided by 2, and so that number divided by 2 comes to a total of 24,341,5. So that is your median. Okay, then on to 5.6. Express the number of hatched pullets during the entire month of March as a ratio to the total hatched during the 2016 to 2017 ratio. So we need to find the total hatched during this period. So for 5.6, the total hatched, so I'm not going to write down each one, but it's basically going to be the 23,645. So we're going to have to just add all of these together. So in your calculators, be very careful and put each value. So it's going to be this 23,645 plus 23,572 plus this one plus the 25,332. So we just add each of them, add them in meticulously to your calculator and get the sum total. So when I do this in my calculator, I get that the total is 291,793. So we need to add, remember, add all of them. So that's what I get. So we added every single one in this column to get to this total. So we can write down that the total hatch is 291,793. And then it's asking for how many hatched just in March. So hatched in March, we just read that off. So we go look for March, and March is over here. So that's 25,719. So 25,719. So then your ratio, so what they're asking for is 25,719 to 291,793. So this here is how you write out a ratio. So it is one to the other. So your lower number on the left hand side and then to your total. So that is your ratio. Yet again, I need to make some more space for the next two questions. So I'm just going to erase these 5.5 and 5.6 just to make some space. Okay, so I've made some space, and we can go on to 5.7, and then it says, determine the probability as a percentage of randomly selecting the number of eggs in a incubator during July. So this is again the column for number of eggs, and we've got the total. Remember, I noted it down here, and we did total it up earlier. So this is our total for the year, and we're just looking at what's the probability that it was just chosen in July. So we take the total possible events, so that's so probability will equal the possible events in July divided by the total. So this is going to be reading off, it's going to be the 29,271. So 29,271 divided by the total. So remember, we said the total was 349,066. So this is our probability, but it did say express it as a percentage. So we take this number, we multiply it by 100 to get it into a percentage. So if we put this all into our calculators, so it's the 29,271 divided by 349,066. Then we take that number, we multiply by 100, we get that it is a probability of 8.39%. And then finally we're on to 5.8, and it just says name the type of graph that would best display the amount of information. So you can see that these are separated into specific categories, in this case the specific months of the year. So it's not really continuous data, it's more discrete per month. So when it's into different categories, we normally use a bar graph. So a bar graph would be ideal. However, what will be accepted is so this will give you your 2 marks, but you could have written line graph. That's another acceptable answer. And then even a compound graph. So any one of these three would have been a compounded bar graph. So any one of these three would be acceptable. Just choose one. So yeah, that was a long question with a lot of data handling, but I hope you learned a lot. Before I go, I'd just like to give a special thanks to our epic sponsor for making this video possible. Read all about them in the description below. Be sure to visit our website for more of these epic tutorials. Remember, if you can't find the answer to your question, you can always send us your question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. And until next time, stay epic.